complete practices. Start by stretching the front body, bringing the harmony back between the back and the front. Lying back over pillows, cushions, small poof or stool, or one of our back arches. First practice for people with lower back problems and tight hamstrings. Arch gently over your support. When you're ready, allow the legs to stretch straight. The backs of the knees descending. Relax the neck. Let the head be straight. You may stretch the arms over the head. Stretching the limbs away from the center of the body accentuates the stretch. The most important part of your yoga practice is the ability to relax. These postures give particular attention to the parts of your body that are under stress and need to relax. Yoga brings balance and harmony. It releases vital energies that you may not know that you have. Streams of energy or prana flow through the body. When through the practice of yoga these streams flow evenly, we experience a feeling of well-being. Practice regularly, and you will notice that not only a change in energy levels, but a lift in the heart, and even a change in attitude. First start with a particular 15 minutes practice that suits you after back arching. Be awake to changes in body and mind, and as your strength and suppleness increases, you may like to practice the whole of the tape. Relax the face. Now coming up, bend the knees, and without holding the breath, draw the body up and rest forwards over the knees or over the thighs until the back feels normal. Face a support, ideally hip high. Stand in mountain posture. That's pressing the feet into the floor, the weight evenly divided between your feet. Stretch the arms up over the head. Feel your full height come up onto the tips of the toes. Keep the eyes on a still point. This helps to balance. The arms and legs quite straight now. Take a breath in and exhaling, stretch forwards, holding your support. Maximum length from the tailbone through to the fingertips. Keeping the legs straight, can you pull the tops of the thighs back, away from your support? Pulling the kneecaps up, descending the heels, the legs are vertical. Even breathing. And as you pull the thighs away, the sides of the body lengthen. Even the back of the neck stretching. Inhale, come up, onto the tiptoes. Lift the index fingers up. Maximum height from the toes, the back of your toes to the fingers. Exhale down, stretching forwards, keeping the back straight. Again, lengthen the sides of the body. Can you take down the spine between the shoulder blades? Good, and heavy shoulder blades pressing down. That's a little stiff area for most people. By working into this area, we relieve tension there may be in the small of the back or the back of the neck. For neck sufferers, pull the chin in. Raise the back of the neck. Inhale, come up. Stretching to your maximum, up onto the toes. Don't hold the breath. Deep breath in and exhaling. Come back onto the heels and stretch forwards. Can you get the back completely straight? If you were to lay a rod down the back, most of the back would touch that rod, including the neck. Take the front thighs back, away from your support. The heels wide on the floor, pressing down. The backs of the ankles stretching. The backs of the knees. The back of the thighs. And the base of the pelvic girdle, I'll call it sitting bones. The sitting bones lift up towards the ceiling. Inhale, come up and stretch up again onto the tips of the toes, the back of the toes. Keep the eyes steady, not hard. Face soft. Exhale down again, and on an exhalation, stretch forwards. This extends and strengthens the back. If you dip down or are over supple in the lumbar spine, the small of the back, then draw the stomach in. The legs stretching equally, the front thighs pulling up. Even the fingers stretching. Lengthen from the tips of the fingers to the sitting bones. Inhale, come up and let the arms drop to the sides of the body. Take a few deep breaths. Take the right leg up onto your support. Can you get the right and the left hip equal distance from the floor? Pushing the right hip down. See that the right knee faces the ceiling. The left leg vertical, don't let the hip stick out to the left. Interlock the fingers behind the back and pull the upper arms in towards each other, widening the chest. The head straight, the neck soft. Feel wide across the hips. Move the navel towards your left. The breastbones towards your left. Both legs completely straight now, and you're working to take that right hip down. Good. Now the other side. Take the left leg up. Again, the knee should face the ceiling. The left hip moving down so that the right and the left hip are equal distance from the floor. Pull the kneecaps up towards the hips. The navel now moving towards the right, the breastbones towards the right. The sides of the body should be of equal length, from the armpits to the hips. See that the hips do not push out to the right. The ball of the left foot draws back towards you, stretching the back of the ankle. Even breathing. No tension in the solar plexus. The bottom shouldn't stick out. Pull up from the pelvic floor. And take the leg down. Take the right leg up onto the support. And again, pull the upper arms in towards each other behind the back. Levering the chest open. Maximum width from front armpit to front armpit. Keep the body square. In other words, take the navel towards the left, the breastbones towards the left. See how to interlock the fingers to the root of the fingers and pull down, straight down. Are you drawing the ball of the right foot back towards you? Even the sole of the foot stretching. The left leg strong. By that I mean not collapsing the arch of that foot. Lift up the left inner ankle bone. And keep the breathing even and deep. And take the leg down and the left leg up onto the support. The arms are passive, this time just hanging in front. Now pull up the kneecaps towards the hips and check that the right leg is vertical. So from the right heel to the right shoulder, maximum length. The neck extends. The bones behind the ears lift vertically up. The collarbones roll up. That's it, the chest should be dome-shaped. Make the left foot active. Pull it back. This releases tension in the small of the back, particularly while stretching hamstrings and opening the chest. Particularly helpful for lower back, but also for taking the pressure off the lower back by opening the chest. And take the leg down. Now lying on the floor, take the arms over the head and stretch to your maximum, pointing the toes, stretching from the toes to the fingers. This is your relaxation. Now bend the knee, the left knee up onto your chest. Pull the shin down. Keep the back of the right thigh down. Now take that bent knee out to the side and push it down with the left hand. The right hand pushing the right hip down, descending the right thigh. If the knee hurts, then take a block underneath the knee as shown. Push the right heel away and the left knee further down towards the floor, feeling wide across the hips. Release any tension there might be in the neck, the face. Allow the chest to feel wide. This particular stretch releases tensions in the small of the back. Let the top of the back feel flat on the floor. Now bend the left knee up and straighten it. Bend the right knee firmly onto the chest, pull the shin down. And take the back of the left thigh down. Keep the breathing even. Take the right knee out to the side, keeping it bent, and push down. And the left hand on the left hip. The whole of the left side of the body now rolling down and to the left. The left thigh, the left hip, the left waist rolling down, the left side of the rib cage, and the upper side of the shoulder moving down towards the floor. Feel wide across the front body. The eyes sinking back into the head. Close the eyes. Feel the brow wide. Even breathing. And bend the knee up and take it straight down. Now bend the knees up onto the chest and roll to the left to get up. The control of panic attacks and irritable bowel. Lie on the floor, take a blanket under your back. Deepen the breathing. Now take the arms over the head and stretch from the toes right through to the fingertips. Maximum length. Take the small of the back down towards the floor, the back of the knees. Now bend the left knee firmly towards the chest, pulling on the shin. Keep the right leg straight, the back of the right knee descending. Release any tension in the neck and the face. Keep the eyes open. Complete attention on what you're doing. And ease the knee further down. At no time at all should we restrict the breathing. Keep the breathing even. There's a direct connection between the breath and the thinking. All you have to do is pay complete attention to what you're doing. The right heel pushing away, the right leg strong. Now take that bent knee out to the left, easing the knee down towards the floor. If there's pain in the knee, the bent knee, then support it on a block. Ease the left knee down with a hand and the right hip down towards the right with the right hand, the whole of the right side of the body and leg rolling back towards the right. Even breathing. Lengthening the exhalation. Feeling the movement of the rib cage. As you inhale, the ribs move sideways, right up to the armpits, the breastbone lifts up, right up to the top, and as you exhale, continue lengthen the exhalation. Now straighten the leg and bend the right knee up onto the chest. Ease the shin down without creating tension in the neck or the face. Push the left leg away. And as you stay in the posture, you can ease the knee a little further down. The back wide on the floor. The back of the head heavy. If the chin sticks up, you may need to have a block or a blanket behind the head. It's important that the chin is drawn down, the mind quiet. Now take that bent knee out to the right, easing down with the hands. The whole of the left side of the body moving back towards the left waist, the left leg. Allow the whole of the abdominal area to be soft. That's including the solar plexus area. Feel wide there. And as you inhale, expand away from the center of the chest. Even the ribs at the back, the space between them, increases. The armpits soft. Now bend that left knee up and down to the floor. I'd like you to lie on the floor with a chair over your head. For supple people, you may not need a chair. Bend the knees and pushing the heels into the floor, take the legs over the head onto the chair, or take the feet over the head onto the floor. Support the back with the hands, holding as low down towards the floor as you can, the upper arms taking weight, the elbows pulling in towards each other behind your back. Release the neck, the face. Keep the eyes open, looking towards the navel. Good, now slowly roll down. Pressing the heels into the floor, lift the hips. You may have to come up onto tiptoe to get the hands underneath to support the hips. Lift the tailbone higher. Dome the chest up towards the chin. Levering the chest open, the collarbones rolling towards the ears. The neck itself soft, the head straight. The heels pushing down, the feet parallel to each other. Now roll the trunk back to the floor. And take the legs over the head, resting the weight on the seat of the chair. If the neck hurts, then take the hips back away from the head. Don't put up with neck pain, but take the hips lower. If this irritates your neck, then don't take the legs over the head. Do the pushing up and resting down. Now take the legs back to the floor, push the heels in, and lift the hips up again. The hands under the back supporting, maximum height with the hips. Even breathing. Release the neck. The face can be open and passive, no need to express any expression on the face. Descend the heels, ascend the hips, then roll slowly down, and again take the legs over the head, resting the toes lightly on the floor or supported on a stool or a chair. By pushing the upper arms into the floor, we lift the spine. The back can be straight, from the top of the shoulders to the tailbone. Now roll slowly down, tailbone last, pressing the feet into the floor. Again, lift the hips. Tuck the hands underneath, not to the sides of the body. Have the legs in line with the sides of the trunk, not dropping out to the sides. If the neck's not comfortable, then you may need to have extra blankets underneath the shoulders and the upper arms. Roll slowly down to the floor. Now sitting on a blanket with the lower leg stretching back. Try to get the little toes on the floor. You may need to sit on blocks or sit on the heels. Rest the palms of the hands upwards, the hands resting on the thighs. The back quite straight now. Deepen the breathing. Interlock the fingers behind the back and pull down, opening the chest. Now take the trunk forwards, over the thighs. Rest the weight down on the thighs. Can you take the forehead to the floor and let it rest? Even if you have to lift the hips, take the forehead to the floor. This has a quietening effect on the mind. You can stretch the arms to lengthen the sides of the body. And then rest down. Passive now. Feel the weight, the complete weight resting down on the thighs. The forehead heavy on the floor. It does not need to restrict the breathing. Lift the head. Inhale, come up. Now lying on the floor with a roll of blanket or mat underneath the diaphragm. The mat or blanket on top of the upper arms. This releases stress in the solar plexus area. The legs apart, the feet falling sideways, the palms of the hands upwards, the blanket on top of the upper arms. The head quite straight now, the center of the back of the head resting on the floor. You may need a pillow or a block. The chin drawn down. Let the eyes sink back into the head. The inner ears soft, sinking in towards the center of the head. The back of the nose, the back of the throat, moving in. The senses are drawn in. And when the body's still, allow the mind to fall quiet. The breathing even, smooth. Releasing stiff hips. Sitting with the legs straight. If you're tight in the hamstrings or lower back, you may need to sit on a block. Pushing the palms of the hands into the floor, straighten the back. The top of the back flat, the shoulder blades pinching into the back. Sit onto the front of the sitting bones, easing the backs of the knees towards the floor and the heels away. Even breathing. You may need to draw the chin in to keep the back of the neck in line with the rest of the spine. Maximum height from the tailbone through to the crown of the head. Yes, deep breathing. Keep the legs stretching, the weight forwards. Pull the balls of the feet back towards you, stretching the back of the ankles. Yes, that's right. Take the weight on the hands, the arms straight. To extend the spine even further, to lengthen the spine. The breastbones lifting vertically up. The chest wide. No tension in the face. Looking straight ahead. Now bend the knees out to the sides, taking the soles of the feet together, drawing them close to the body in the center. To stretch the back, easing the knees down, bringing the chest forwards. So as you interlock the fingers and take them round the toes, you're pulling up on the arms to hoist the chest up, to widen it, to bring it forwards, and at the same time you're levering the knees down. Try sitting like this in a chair. Don't always sit on chairs. We want to bring back the full mobility of the hips. Draw the knees together. And take the lower legs back, sitting between the ankles, or if you're a little stiff in the knees or the hips, then sit on a block. You may need 2 or 3 blocks. Interlock the fingers and stretch up over the head, moving those upper arms back, the elbows towards each other, leaning forwards onto the front of the sitting bones without over-curving the small of the back. If you're a little weak in the lower back, then do draw the stomach in to lengthen it. Now change the interlock of the hands. Take the other little finger to the end and stretch the arms up. Maximum height from the floor to the hands. Are the sides of the body stretching equally? Is the weight equal on those sitting bones? Little bones you can feel when you're sitting down. Base of the pelvic girdle. Now take the hands into the lap. Interlock the fingers behind the back. And again, open the chest by drawing the arms together and down. Take a few deep breaths. Now sitting with the legs wide, push the hands into the floor behind you. Lengthen the trunk. Pull the balls of the feet back towards you. The knees should be facing the ceiling, the backs of the knees opening towards the floor. You can even lift the heels. For the more supple, take the hands in front and see how far forward you can go, keeping the back straight. Don't collapse the back like that, but keep it straight, the collarbones lifting up. And you can crawl your fingers forwards. Stop if you begin to lose length in the front body. From the pubis to the top of the breastbones should stay long. Now, turning to your right, you may need a belt. Either catching the right foot or taking a belt around it for those who are a little stiff. Pulling on the belt, on the foot, lift up out of the hips, not with a rounded back, but with completely straight back, so you may not go far forwards at all. Lifting up, facing your right foot. The left leg anchors you down. Now turn around to the left. Take a belt around the left foot, allowing your right leg to pull back to the right leg in contact with the floor. Let the trunk be straight. Hoist the collarbones up, pulling on the foot pushing back against the belt or the hands. See how the right leg acts as an anchor. Deepen the breathing. You're working to take the lower back forwards, yet keeping it straight. Lengthen from the pubis to the breastbones, the neck in line with the rest of the spine. Some of the more supple will be able to go forwards over the leg. Release, come back to the center, push the hands into the floor, have a stretch. And again, take the hands in front. Only if you can go forwards, keeping the back straight. The others, keep the hands pushing into the floor behind the hips. The whole of the front of the rib cage lifts up. The shoulder blades pull down the back. Keep the weight even on the sitting bones, even on the upper thighs. Now, turning to the right, the navel to the right, the breastbones to the right, Hold the foot and pull up. Not collapsing back, but lengthening both sides of the body. Sides of the body should be equal distance from the floor. So roll the left side forwards, not downwards, forwards. And come up, turning to the left, using the left foot as a prop, pull yourself up. The center of the body facing the inside of that left leg. Turn from the top of your right leg. Can you keep the sides of the body equal length? The neck is straight, but release tension in it. The balls of the feet pulling back towards the trunk. The soles of the feet stretching. Release and come back to the center. Give the back a stretch by pushing into the floor. Now lying down with a blanket under the hips, stretch the arms out to the sides, palms of the hands up. Bend the knees onto the chest and roll to the left, the knees up towards the left armpit. Stronger people keep the legs just off the floor. Breath in. Exhaling, bring the knees back to the center. Take a breath in and take the knees over to the right armpit, almost up to the armpit. And the stronger of you are keeping the legs off the ground. Back to the center. Synchronize the movements with your breath. Breath in. Exhaling, take the knees over to the left. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale again and come back to the center. Inhale. Take the knees over to the right. Complete turn of the stomach area. The navel now pulls back towards the left. And back to the center. Breath in and exhale, take the knees to the left. Keep the shoulders on the floor and back to the center. As you take the knees to the right, keep the left shoulder down, the left arm stretching away. The back wide. Breath in. Exhale, come back to the center. Pull the knees onto the chest with the hands. Just as far as you can, as you're able. If one knee goes further down than the other, then keep the knees working similarly. Hold back on the supple side. Now roll to the side and sit up. Take a roll or a blanket underneath the spine, underneath the head, and lie back, the feet apart, the arms away from the sides of the trunk. If the small of the back is hurting, I want you to drop one knee out to the side as shown. You may need a block underneath the knee. That releases small of the back ache. Allow the back to feel wide, the spine to be pushed up. The roll ends just below the shoulder blades and supports the top of the back and the head. You may need an extra lift under the head. Relax completely, letting the muscles relax away from the spine. The limbs heavy, the skin soft. 3 deep breaths, starting with an exhalation. Slow, deep breath in, inhaling, allowing the breastbones to move up. No tension in the neck. And as you exhale, let go. Release any tensions in the head. Exhale completely and pause at the end of the breath. Slow, deep breath in, inhaling up to the brim. Don't look up. Keep looking down into the chest, the eyes closed. Slow, long exhalation. Exhaling further than you normally do. One more deep breath. The face soft. And as you exhale, let go completely. Secrets of youth and vitality. This is a stimulating practice. Standing on your mat, with the feet apart, throw the arms to the right and then the left. With practice, you can circle right round, spinning. If you're doing that, keep the head in one direction. Looking at a point, keep turning the head to see that point. So allowing the arms to wrap around, even the head turns, the eyes, the legs do not need to be held tight. This lifts the energy, lifts the prana. Synchronize the breathing with it, exhaling as you go round. Exhaling. And release. Take the feet together. Now lying down on the floor, stretch the backs of the legs. Exhaling, lift the head and lift the legs. The palms of the hands can press the floor. Exhaling, lower the straight legs and the head. Do one leg at a time if two is too much. Breath in, exhaling, lift the head and the legs. The legs stretching equally, the toes pointing. Keep the chest open as the arms press down. Exhaling, lower the legs and the head. For that moment, release completely the whole abdominal area. Take a breath and again, exhaling, lift the legs and the head. You can swing the legs further over towards the face to release any tension, any congestion there might be in the small of the back. Exhaling, lower the legs and the head. Deepen the breathing. And again, lift the legs and the head. Breathing. Lower the legs and the head. Release completely. And again, lift the legs and the head. Just the head and the very top of the shoulders lifting, not the back. Ideally, the legs are at right angles to the floor, and on your exhalation, lower. Try and synchronize the breathing with the movements. Now sitting with the legs straight, the back straight. Bend the knees, take the hands behind you on the floor, and exhaling, lift the hips. So you're like a table, the legs, lower legs, and the arms vertical. Exhaling down, and again, inhaling, lift the hips, let the head fall back, and exhaling, lower. Keep the knees bent. Take a breath in, and as you exhale, lift the hips, tailbone as high as you can, chest open, the head moving back, and exhaling, come down. Take care not to hold the breath. And again, exhaling, lift. Breathing. Can you lift the tailbone higher? Even weight on the hands, the weight divided between the feet. And lift the hips. And down again. Sitting in this Dandasana with the legs straight, the back straight. Now lying on the stomach with the feet well onto your mat, your non-slip mat. For more advanced, the hands either side of the waist. Less advanced, the hands either side of the chest. Peel the spine off the floor. Look up. Tailbone down, chest forwards. The arms quite straight. You can compromise on this. Keep the elbows on the floor, the hips on the floor. Now lift the hips and lower the head, stretching the back to the maximum, the back of the legs. Some of you will need to be onto the tiptoes. And come through into the first position, the tailbone down, the chest forwards, mouth up. Exhaling, lift the hips, lower the head, release the neck completely, let the head just hang. The arms straight, the hands flat, and come through into the first position, lowering the hips, lifting the head. Stretching the backs of the toes, and again, lift the hips, lower the head. The hands flat on the floor. Try to descend the heels, and through into the first posture, lift the head, tailbone down. Don't overarch the small of the back. Exhaling, lift the hips, let the head hang. Stretch the sides of the body, the knees pointing forwards, and lower the hips, lift the head, widen the chest, take the upper arms back. Breath in, exhale, lift the hips. The head just hanging. Bend the knees and sit onto the heels. Take the forehead down onto the floor. The weight resting down on the thighs now. And if you need to, lift the hips to lower the head onto the floor. The head quiet, the brain quiet. Coming up into a kneeling position, take the hands onto the hips, turn the toes under so the backs of the toes are stretching on the floor. Pushing down on the hips, lift the chest high. Those that are able, I want them to stretch back and hold the heels. Only do this if your back's able, without pain, to hold the heels. And again, lift the chest, elbows back. If there's any strain in the neck, then don't lower the head. And again, come up, and exhaling, go back. The shoulders should not be drawn up to the ears. Come up. Exhaling, go back. The head just hanging. The hips push forwards, the thighs at right angles to the floor. Don't stick the bottom out. Breath in and arch back. If there's any pain in the small of the back, you're arching back too far. Keep the hips forwards. So working on the breath. Now sitting back on the heels. And again, stretching forwards over the thighs. The forehead down. Now taking a blanket under the hips, lying on your back. The palms of the hands upwards, the arms stretching out to the sides. Take the knees to the left. And over to the center and to the right. Keep the knees bent tightly up. Breath in and back to the center. So you're moving on your exhalations, exhaling over to the left. Counterbalance that by stretching the right arm away, the top of the shoulder down, the upper arm down, and back to the center. Take a deep breath in, and as you exhale, take the knees over to the right. The left arm stretching away to the left. Take a breath, and as you exhale, come back to the center. Take a breath. As you exhale, go to the left. The head straight. Exhaling, come back to the center. Inhale, take the knees to the right. Arms stretching away from the spine. Inhale, back to the center. Pull the shins down. Now getting ready for relaxation. You tend to cool down. Take a blanket and a roll or another blanket underneath the spine, so that the roll finish at the bottom of the shoulder blades and support the head. Allow the blanket or roll to push the spine up and the muscles either side of the spine to relax away to the sides. Feel the back wide, the hips wide. Allow the feet to fall sideways, the legs heavy now, passive. Allow the palms of the hands to face upwards and the inner arms to be turned up towards the ceiling. Take 3 deep breaths, starting with an exhalation. Inhale up to the brim. And as you exhale, let any stress or strain slip out of the sides of the forehead. Go on exhaling. Take a deep breath in, the whole of the rib cage widening, the breastbones lifting. And as you exhale, let any physical tensions dissolve away, leaving the muscles soft. Exhale further. Take a deep breath. Up to your maximum. And as you exhale, I want you to drop into a deep state of relaxation. Let go completely. You're still aware of your body lying there on the floor, completely at ease yet not dropping into sleep. The breathing normal now. The eyes sinking back into the head. Now bend the knees up onto the chest. Roll to the right to get up.